Hi Stampers! Thanks for joining me today for day 2 of the 12 Dies of Christmas 2020 Kits in the Mail program. So this is the second card that I designed. So look in your box and look for the envelope that's got the basic black cardstock. That's the kit that we'll be using in this video. Before we get started, I wanted to go through the supplies that I used to finish the kit. So you'll need to gather these supplies or something similar from your stamp space. So this is the Old World Map Embossing folder. I also used the Beautiful World stamp set and the World Mat dies. I used these dies right there. And the Crushed Curry ink pad. So let's get started. Slide that out of the way. I'm going to put the sample way at the top so you can see where we're going. Pull everything out. Dump everything out and see what you got. Take a look at my sample again. We've got the very vanilla piece in the inside, the globe sitting on the stand, and the stand and the background globe is cut in this grid pattern, and then the actual globe with the continents is cut with this pattern. And then on the front, the stand is cut again with the grid, the black and bronze grid pattern paper, and then the same pattern paper there for that globe. There are two different globes if you look closely. This one's got the Africa and Europe and Asia and Australia, and the other globe's got North America and South America shown prominently. Okay, let's look at your kit. So I gave you a foot of this faux suede trim. So I cut mine down already to about 3 1/4 inches, and I know this one is 2 inches. And then I gave you 1 each of all of the pieces that I have got cut that's from this collection. So for my card, I only use these 2 pieces, those 2 patterns. These 3 you can set aside or use those on your card as well. All right, and the rest of the pieces we did use. So the first thing that you want to do is process your pieces through the Big Shot. So I've got a tip for you. Doesn't matter which direction this is going, but we're going to use the opposite side. You see that? As a partial mat under the top there. So I would recommend cutting both of your globes towards the center. So I'll pull those off. That way you get a little bit of the yellow edge along the outside. You see that one didn't cut quite right. Let me get my paper snips. I think my plate on the top is bowing a little bit. There, that will be fine, okay? And then your black and bronze gold. I've got a tip for that one. You are going to line up the stem of the stand with the line of that bronze. And that way, hopefully, you'll get a bronze line down your stem. There you go. So my trick was where's that pattern paper? I just lined up with one of the bronze stems. You'll see what I mean when you get your die out. All right, and then you've got the solid globe and then the stand cut from that piece as well. Okay, so get my worn cutting mat out of there. Same with those dies. So your first step then, after you've got everything die cut, you go ahead and pause the video now and go ahead and die cut those pieces. I am going to work on poking out all my chads, and I have misplaced my die brush that belongs on the end of this. I sure hope I didn't put it in the trash, although if I did, if it doesn't show up soon, I'll just order another one. I don't know where it went. So just poke out all your chads. We have to poke these out of the die as well, because if you cut another set of globes, you're going to want clean holes to cut the next piece of paper. And all these little chads you certainly could put in your envelope when you gift your card away for a little bit of fun confetti, or just sweep it into your trash bag. So the little holes on the die are the release holes. So that's where really what you want to put your, take your pick tool or your die brush to get it to release. And then you're going to have to release all of those chads as well. Oh, one more. There we go. Okay, so then they kind of hang off on the back. You just use your fingers and get them to fully release. That one wants to stay there. I think that's all. And if you miss one, oh well, nobody's gonna know that the chad should have been removed. I think that's it. Oh, there's a few right here. And I'm not gonna bother with those because they don't seem to be wanting to, well, there we go. Again, I think when you cut out your delicate die cuts like these, make sure you use your plates that are flat. And when my plates start to bow, I like to just keep them stored overnight in my Big Shot. You know, roll it under so that the pressure overnight helps to, I'm going to get rid of these chads, helps to force those plates straight. Okay, and I think this one had a few as well. And while I was doing this, there was something I thought I needed that I didn't get. Oh yes, one thing I didn't do ahead of time was I showed you my the Old World map embossing folder. So I didn't emboss my cardstock ahead, so I'm gonna have to stop the video and do that and come back. Okay, I'm back. I've cleaned up my area a little bit. So here's the Old World map embossing folder. Processed it through my embossing machine. And you get this wavy kind of old texture look. Like paper that's been stored for many, many years. All right, so we can start assembling. So this piece, I would definitely use my Tombow multi-glue because the Old World map definitely has deep ridges and we need some kind of a glue to sink in there. And I just place that towards the top with a little bit of the black peeking out maybe a ½ an inch at the top. And go ahead and center that on the card base. Okay. Next, let's attach some things so that we don't have to worry about where they go. One piece of the Very Vanilla gets placed on the inside towards the bottom. And then on the inside, we are going to put the black gold with the bronze grid. And I'm going to line up my grid lines. See that? The center grid line on the grid overlay lines up with one of the grid lines there. And if yours don't line up perfectly, that's fine. I would probably just have them be perfectly square, flush. I wouldn't do them at an angle. That would feel kind of wonky to me. So that will go there, and then the sturdier stand will go there. Okay. So before I get the glue out again, we're going to do some stamping because sometimes I get glue on my fingers and then I gotta go wash it off. So grab your crushed curry or some kind of coordinating yellow. Doesn't even have to be a yellow. You can do a gray or a black. Even the cinnamon cider would look nice. So we've got the Life's a Beautiful Journey. I'm going to stamp that down here. And this is the first stamp that I'm going to do. Because if this isn't straight, oh, I did really good. Did it straight. Then I had the back side that I could stamp on as well. And then the two curly cues from that stamp set, The Beautiful World, I place them one on top of the other. And I could do essentially 2.5 along the side here. So 2, and then the half is just the, I couldn't get the smaller one on that piece of paper. All right, and then we've got a little bit of ephemera we're going to put in the upper corner. So the compass, and there is north So west and east, you can see. So if that's important to you, make sure you've got the west and east placed on your paper correctly. And a feather over that and the inkwell over that. There, that looks nice. Okay, and then I think I'm done. Although, one thing you could do to make this a little more textured looking, old world looking, is you can just take your ink pad and do direct to paper technique. Just lightly brush and you get a light ink pattern around, so it gives a weathered look. Okay. All right, and I think I'm done with the ink pad, so let's cover that up. Now we can start assembling. Our next layer on the front would be this piece. And see, we're covering up those circles so nobody will know that we economized. And then this yellow piece doesn't go in our scrap bin as well. Another reason why we want to use it up. So I'm just going to center that over those circles. And then let's work on our ribbon. Oh, before you attach that down, hopefully, darn it, sorry, back up a little bit. This is going to get tucked under the top there. So for me to tuck now, I'm going to grab my glue dots and just add in a glue dot on either end. And then shove it under the top. And I just wanted something at the top, a little bit of texture. And this faux suede ribbon, do you really like it? I really like it. It's a nice neutral texture. It's super soft. Okay, so there's that. And then this piece on the bottom I said was about 3 1/4. So I wanted it just a touch to my curly cues and then not quite over the edge. And then on my sample card, I kind of distressed it a little bit. So this is kind of an old world looking card. And maybe yours isn't going to distress. Mine doesn't want to distress right now. Sometimes when you pull there we go. When you pull the end of threads or end of ribbons, you get the threads showing. And I wanted just a little bit of that. And if you like a perfectly cut ribbon, you don't have to do this. Sometimes they fray on their own. Okay, there's that. And then I gave you a buckle and a corner from the Antique Corners. So you can decide which buckle side you want up and the Antique Corners. One side on the corners is swirly. The other side is got just horizontal lines. So why don't I have the solid buckle up this time? And I'm going to thread it a little different so you can see which way maybe you'd like. So I place it underneath the buckle and over the center loop and back down. So you can take it and put it on your card and see, do you like it that way or do you like it this way? So this time I'm going to have the center buckle covered. And then to attach this down, we'll just use 3 glue dots. One on the end. Where am I going to place that buckle? One over the buckle, so you got to make sure you put your buckle where you want it before you put your glue dot over it. There. I want it a little bit towards the end and underneath the A and the U and beautiful. Okay. Like that. Press down. All right, now we have our globes, and to get our fingers all gluey. This I didn't use anywhere. It looks like a pretty cool half moon for a Halloween card. So I just may have to use that somewhere, but you can put that in your scrap bin. I wonder if you like it up there. Oh, look at that. I like it up there. We're gonna do that. There we go. Just adds another layer. Woohoo! One last piece for my scrap bin. Gotta love that. Okay. So now next we get our fine, you can use your fine tip glue or your green glue. And just put a little bit of glue in those open spots and then come around and just lightly add some glue around the edges. And then I'm going to line up the center of my globe with the center of a bronze, with one of the bronze lines. And if your lines don't meet up, that's okay too. I would just try to, if your line, my bronze line on that black paper is a little bit to the right of my globe, and that's fine. Okay, and then we can attach this to the inside. Just a swirl of liquid glue there is great. And then the smaller stand, the smaller, more stable stand gets placed underneath that globe. Here we go. And then for the outside stand, so I would position it on your card front and maybe anchor your card front down so it's not boinging up at you. And then figure out which way there we go, goes this way. So North America at top, South America on the bottom. And position your stand about where you want it. And what you're going to do is glue the back side of this globe and slip it under the stand and position it where you want it. And then we'll glue the stand second. Okay. Get rid of that so I don't get glue where I don't want it. All right, and just lift up that stand. There, looks good. All right, and then a little bit of glue. Ever so slightly. I've never used the silicone mat trick with the sponge. If that's how you get little pieces of glue where you need it, you go ahead and get your silicone mat out and your sponge. And then this is going to go over the globe. And just hold down for a few seconds so that glue's got a little bit of time to dry. Okay. Last is our little antique corner. So I really like the swirlies up. I really like the swirlies, so I can't do the straight lines up. So we're going to do swirlies up again. You do whichever side up that you'd like. So attach that with the glue dot and press down. There. So card we just made it, and here's a sample card. I really like the half moon shape that was cut out from the globe tucked underneath there. So I'm going to have to dig that scrap out and place it on my card. All right, so hope you enjoyed this kit. Look for my other 12 days of Christmas card videos to see what we did. Each video will feature a different card base and a different die set and stamp set collection. So we'll stamp with you soon. Thanks for joining me. Make sure to click the notification bell on my YouTube channel and subscribe so you get notified when I load new content. Okay, Stampers, we'll stamp with you soon. Bye. Hey Stampers, I forgot to give you the catalog tour to show you where all the products are that I used to create this card. So they're all in the 2021 annual catalog. And all of the products are in the World of Good suite. So you can order the products as a suite with one item number and get all the products, or you can order individually. In addition, you can order just the stamp set and the dies as a bundle, and then you get 10% off if you use the bundle item number. You can also order those individually, but you won't get the 10% off. I use the crushed curry ink pad, which is part of the Regals collection. So if you have the Regals collection inks, you've got the crushed curry ink pad. The antique corners and slides are number 13 on page 157 right here. You get 30 pieces, 20 quarters, and 10 ribbon slides in a package. And then the faux suede trim is number 23 on page 161. And then last, the Old World Paper 3D embossing folder is what I used. I know I think I keep on referring it to Old World Map, but it's Old World Paper. It's new this year. It's on page 185. All right, Stampers, thanks for watching, and we'll stamp with you soon. Bye.